why do I have to change for a great accuracy AMD like the Khomp AI AMD? When we say AI AMD, it's basically because we have the artificial intelligence embedded on the AMD, and I'm going to explain on the next slide of this presentation. But the benchmarks are very important, because once you have like 80% of accuracy on the traditional AMD, I mean the embedded AMD on each dial, that can work for certain scenarios, but for most demanding scenarios, it shouldn't work, you know. So we have the commitment to deliver more than 98% of the for accuracy for the connected calls to the agents. I mean, uh, on the opposite way, the agent lost their times, like a 20% of their day, they lost the time just listening for noise, for voicemail, for silence, for a muted attendance. Once we have at least nine, the maximum 2% of these calls will be muted calls, silence, or voicemails or carrier's message when you have comp. So we decreased from 20-30% when you have the traditional AMD to just 2% of this loss of time. So this is a very great amount, you know. And we have a pre-connect mechanism, and where we say the early media. So the SIP early media is very important for us, because we can detect before the call is connected to the agent, to the customer. We can detect at least 50% of the calls that is going to result on a carrier's message. The carriers tell to us, okay, I'm going to connect our standard voicemail. Are you sure that you are intending to connect this with your agent? They said it was over the SIP early media, the SIP 181 and SIP 183. So we are able to detect the SIP early media before the call is connected to the customer. So we avoid to annoy the customer, firstly, and we, for a lot of carriers, we avoid the billing, because there are some carriers, I think the most of the carriers in the United States and worldwide, that not charge you when you don't have the 200 OK connection from the customer side. So it represents a real saving for your campaigns, for your predictive dialers. This is a very important point, because it helps on the accuracy and it helps on the saving on the other side. And there are some false positives mitigation as well, because the false positives are a very annoying situation for the customer side. When you have the false positive, it's when you have, for example, the customer attendance and the AMD, for example, the traditional AMD just hang up the call on the customer attendance. So it's a very boring situation. So we avoid this kind of situation more than 80%. So this is very important too, because of the customer satisfaction, you know. And we do everything in less than 3 seconds, you know, and we release the channel in less than 3 seconds. And this is very important situation. This is very important information, because you can maximize the usage of your channels, not just the comp channels, but your carrier's channels as well. So you can save money by asking for your carriers to minimize the number of channels that are going to be needed, you know, and to, you know, and minimize the dialing ratio as well, because you can dial less to get some great results, the same number of great contacts with your customers as well, you know. So it's a operations optimization, you know. So uh, to be very, it's a very important information. We don't have just an answering machine detection, because the answering machines are just voicemails, carrier's message, invalid number messages. No, we can detect, furthermore, we can detect the silence, the muted calls answering, the noisily answering, and this is very important thing to be considered, because all of these other types of calls, beyond the answering machines, are unproductive calls. So we avoid the unproductive calls as well. And these cells of a spreadsheet that I put on the side represents the auditing mechanism that we deliver to check the accuracy of the system. Each deployment that we do, we make an accuracy checking in order to make sure for the customers that we are reaching what we are promising, and the results are delivered.